For some companies, a good year is just, well, a good year. But for Lundin Mining, 2025 was something else entirely. It wasn't just another 12 months on the calendar. Nope. It was the launch pad for a massive transformation, all fueled by a performance that just shattered their old records.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The president and CEO himself, Jack London, said it best. I mean, look at this quote. He calls it their best performance in the history of the company. That pretty much says it all, right? It sets the tone for everything we're about to talk about.
Okay, so what does best performance actually look like in dollars and cents? Well, let's start with revenue. We're talking a staggering $4.5 billion for the year. And just to be clear, that's not just a good number, that's an all-time high for them. It's the kind of financial firepower that lets you do more than just pay the bills. It lets you completely reinvent yourself. And it wasn't just about the money coming in the door either. Their profitability, also a record. Their adjusted EBITDA, which, is a really good way to see how healthy the core business is, hit $1.9 billion. So what does that tell us? It shows they're not just big. They are running an incredibly tight, efficient, and super healthy operation. But here's where it gets really interesting. These record numbers, they weren't the finish line, not even close. They were the starting gun for something way bigger. This was the moment they laid the foundation for a complete strategic overhaul. So what was this big shift? It was a conscious choice. They basically said, okay, our past was all about being diversified. A little nickel here, some zinc there, assets over in Europe. But the future? That's a different story. They decided to go all in, streamlining everything to become a laser-focused copper company, with their operations centered squarely in South America. And you can literally see this new direction. They didn't just change their strategy on paper, they changed their whole look. They rolled out this new brand identity. That stylized L logo, it's all about forward momentum. And the colors? Well, that's pretty obvious, right? It's all inspired by copper. It's like they're wearing their new strategy right on their sleeve. So the big question is, why copper? Why bet the whole company on this one metal? Well, it all boils down to one word: electrification. Think about it. Electric cars, wind turbines, solar panels. What do they all need? A ton of copper wiring. It's the lifeblood of the green transition. So London isn't just chasing a hot commodity. They're positioning themselves to be an essential supplier for our entire electric future. Okay, so you've got record profits. You've got a new, sharp focus on copper. So what do you do with all that? What's the big play? Well, they're putting their chips on a single, massive project called Vicuña. And when I say massive, I'm not kidding. In the mining world, they have a term for this. It's called a company-making project. Yeah, it's that big. And that really makes you wonder, right? How in the world do you top the best year in your entire history? What's the encore to that? How do you keep that incredible momentum going? The answer? You don't just go big, you go huge. You take all that success and you launch something that will last for generations. And that something is the Vicuña project. We're talking about a gigantic copper, gold, silver district right on the border between Argentina and Chile. Just try to wrap your head around these numbers for a second. At its peak, this project is expected to pump out over 500,000 tons of copper, over 800,000 ounces of gold, and get this, over 20 million ounces of silver. And that's not over its lifetime, that's every single year. These aren't just big numbers, they are absolutely world-class. In fact, to put that into perspective, that kind of output would instantly place Vicuña among the top 5 biggest copper, gold, and silver mines in the entire world. So we're not just talking about another hole in the ground here. This is a game changer, a multi-generational asset that could completely redefine what Lundin Mining is. Okay, but let's be real for a second. Ambition is one thing, but a project this huge costs a fortune. So the question is obvious. How are they going to pay for it all? Well, their plan is actually pretty straightforward. It's a simple 3-step playbook. Step 1, have a historic, record-breaking year. Build up a rock-solid financial foundation. Check. Step 2, take that financial strength to the bank and secure a massive line of funding. And step 3, use all that cash to launch the project of a lifetime. It's logical, it's powerful, and it's exactly what they're doing. And on that second step, securing the funding, oh yeah, they've done that. They basically went out and got a giant corporate credit card. They call it a revolving credit facility and upsized it to a whopping
$4.5 billion. That's all the financial ammo they'll need to dive headfirst into this huge project with total confidence.
And this right here, this table shows you exactly why the banks were willing to back them. Just look at the difference between 2024 and 2025. Revenue? A nice jump. But the real story is their net earnings. I mean, it went from $125 million to over $1 billion. That's an 8 times increase. That's the kind of explosive growth that gives you the license to dream this big. Okay, so let's step back for a second and put all the pieces together. What's the big picture here? What does all of this, the record year, the pivot, the giant project, what does it all really mean? Really, it boils down to 4 key things. First, they had that incredible record-breaking year, which gave them the cash and the guts to think big. Second, they used that momentum to pivot hard, focusing everything on copper. Third, that new focus led them straight to the Vicuña project, a massive, once-in-a-generation opportunity. And finally, they locked in the funding. So now, they are fully armed and ready to build out this incredibly ambitious future. Which really leaves us with one big final question to chew on. You've got this historic year behind them, and this monster project in front of them. So, is Lundin Mining just setting itself up for another good year? Or is it positioning itself to become an absolutely essential piece of the puzzle in powering our entire electric future?